Hello, my dears. How are you today? This is probably going to be one of my most vulnerable videos, and we're not talking about astrology. We're not talking about spirituality. We're talking about my name and how I'm going to be using my legal name, my government name, moving forward. And I want to talk a little bit about Sarah Botticelli, the name, why I used it for so long, and what shifted for me. It was a lot deeper than I ever could have possibly imagined. And I've had a few people comment as of late, as well as there's a subscriber that we email back and forth to each other. And the last email that he sent was like, yeah, I feel like because we go large gaps without emailing, because like I go through the depths of processing and then we email, and then he goes through the depths of processing and we email back and forth. And he noticed at the end, he was like, I saw, you using the name Sarah Boshco. What shifted? What changed? What was fascinating is that in my email signature, it's always said Sarah Boshco. On my what's it called, business card, it always says Sarah Boshco. On my PayPal, on my Venmo, always says Sarah Boshco. It's only been on my outward content. And for a while I thought it was like a stage name, but I'll get into the original intentions for it. But to be as authentic with you and as possible, I feel as though there's been a version of me that's unconsciously and subconsciously not gaining the reach that I know that what it is that I'm offering is supposed to reach because of this. Because I want you to know who I really am, my real name, and I'll go over, if you want to grab a tea, I have this teacup. I know, it's throat coat lemon echinacea. It's been hitting the spot. The teacup just has this like beautiful, it's got like little ridges, like little ridges on the side, and I absolutely love it. But if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Sarah. I'm a channeler and astrologer, and I speak through the lenses of those two. I speak through, the lens of astrology. I do astrology readings. We have a growth mindset, and I, channel source energy. I've been channeling the Council of Nine lately, the angels before, Octurians, and all different beings. And something that, oh my God, this is so vulnerable. I've cried so many tears for this before, and I've really come to a place of acceptance. Where many years ago, and I talked about this in my Waking Up Post-Woke series, so it's like I've already talked about it, but I have so many new people at the cafe since then. And so I went through some weird sexualization. I went through childhood sexualization with, unidentified, parental, uncles, grandparents, all sorts of weird things. I had a weird situation come up, a few years ago. It was in COVID time that really just like pulled the rug out from under me, weird sexualization. And I don't want to repeat myself there, but I started to use my mother's maiden name, which was Botticelli, because I didn't feel welcome in my father's family. I didn't feel welcome in that side of the family at all. And I've spoken about, the relationship that I've had with my father, whether it's, I've tried so hard to be close and then I had to pull away, and then I went no contacts for a very long time. And it was the healthiest, safest way to not, to love that person, was to not be in their life. And the only way for me to really find love was with no contact. And I've really forgiven a lot of the moments, a lot of the situations, a lot of the experiences, and I don't want to literally label it on my lapel as my name, because the shift in name was really running away from the fact that certain things happened to me. And I don't need to be right. I don't need to legally change my name. I don't need to legally go through this or have a DBA or all of these things. And it can be very confusing for people. And so for a while, like, I know that I'm going to take this Mercury retrograde to really, and I also apologize. I've been thinking and saying that Mercury's going retrograde on Cyber Monday. It's going retrograde this Monday. So it's going to be retrograde for the entirety of Black Friday. So watch your shopping. And so this is happening for me in my second and first house. And values, access to resources, and myself. So I'm going to slowly be shifting my name away from Sarah Botticelli to Sarah Boshco, which is my given name. And there's so much to the name that we're given. And I want to reference that as well, because for a while I was very resentful over the fact that my name was Sarah. Why Sarah? Because my older and my younger sister, I'm the middle of 3 girls, both of their names are connected to someone within my family, whether it's named after someone who passed on or, a really close family person. And when I was a young girl, I asked my mom, like, well, why'd you pick my name? She was like, I don't know, I just really like the name. And I know now she's a very angelic being, my mom, and she picked the name because it's my name. And there's a lot of power, as well as the numerology of your name. It's a specific name that we come in here for and with. So it's not so much, and there's so much to unpack within this. So I'm really speaking from I statements here. So please, I don't want to go down any political or social rabbit holes when it comes to this. But the name that you came in here with, you chose that before you came in. You said, I'm going to take on the karma of that name. And I'd really been processing the karma of, Sarah Botticelli. I study Italian, I speak Italian, I sing Italian, and I am Italian. I'm still a Botticelli, it doesn't change that. But the name that I was given, that I came in with, is the one I'm going to be using for my business and for my content moving forward. I also found it to be, when I do one-on-one, how do I say, I have an event coming up that I'm doing locally for the solstice with my solstice sisters, and that advertisement I want to say, uses my given name. And so I don't want that to be confusing. I've had people send me very generous donations and they're like, am I sending it to the right person? And it didn't feel okay anymore. It felt like I was lying. And it also felt like I was identifying as a traumatized version of myself that I don't feel I've accepted. Yeah, things happened to me. Really weird things happened to me. Things happened to me all throughout my childhood, all throughout my life, all throughout my 20s and 30s. Like, weird things happened to me, but it doesn't define me, nor does it harden my heart, nor do I want to have to go through all of the hullabaloo all the time to be like, oh, but it's Sarah Botticelli, but it's legally Sarah Botticelli. Like, no. So that's this video for today. I understand that might be confusing for some people if you're really new here. I'm going to ease back and shift it just, as in 2025, everything should be Sarah Boshco. And, please use the same email address. I'll shift it. I got a new one as well. And it'll all make itself the way that it's supposed to be. And just comment if you're trying to reach out. You can't reach me, just comment and I'll find the right way. But I felt like I was doing all of you a disservice. Even in my email signature, I just put Sarah in all caps, and in all my descriptions I put Sarah in all caps. I'll leave you with this, where when people would ask me, locally, like, Sarah, I know you're the tarot reader, you're the alien, you're the this, you're the that. And if people knew me as Sarah Botticelli, I knew that they would know me through YouTube or through my content. If they knew me as Sarah, it was probably, Cafe Sarah or the restaurant that I work at. And I would say this, I've said this for years, but if you really knew me, you knew me as Sarah Boshco. If you really knew me. And so I'm so grateful for this community. I don't fear the shift. I don't fear this authenticity. And I also want to highlight that there's an actual astrologer. Her name is Annie Botticelli. I don't know her. We're not related. And I feel, because like people are coming on my page that are looking for her, and I don't want to take from that beautiful person anymore. I don't want to in any way, like, you know what I mean? That's not fair for her. She doesn't know me. I was using my mom's maiden name because I was heavily going into my father wounds and leaning more on my mother, where now I just accept it. And I don't want to deal with it. I don't want it to be something that moving forward, as I really connect with you over YouTube, over Instagram, in small groups, in my coaching call, in my memberships, in one-on-one sessions, I want you to know who I really am. And I want you to see a mirror of something that you can just leave behind. Yeah, I was so scared for a while. I literally was so scared. I was like, well, what if I lose people? What if I lose people? That's okay. That's okay. If you were sticking around just for the name Botticelli, then that was our season, and that's okay. But I don't want to lie to myself anymore and pretend that that's my name when it's not. It feels so freeing, and I'm really grateful for everyone that's here. I'm really grateful for this community. It's been growing so beautifully, and I can't do any of this alone. So I want you to know who I really am. I want to share this side of myself, and yeah, thank you. I love you. I'll see you soon.